Alright, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I hope that everyone is doing okay and doing well. Right, for this video right here, we are going to be talking about the development of literacy. So literacy here, we are actually talking about all the 4 language skills. It's not just reading and writing. We are talking about all the language skills, including speaking and listening. So it is our goal, as a teacher, kalau nak ajar bahasa ni, kena ajar all the 4 language skill supaya dia develop literacy ni. Okay, so there are different strategies in order to improve literacy. Some of these include sharing knowledge. So let's say you have an interesting story that you want to share, or maybe knowledge about events, or maybe even interesting animals, because they are little children, so they're interested about animals, so you can share knowledge with them. Like your seniors, one of them, she shared stories about volcanoes. So that would be interesting, right? Keep in mind that some of these are for more advanced students. Macam contoh this one, giving them variety of texts such as newspaper, novels, comics and magazine, and then this one, encouraging the child to write and design for variety of purposes. These are for more advanced students. It's not for Taska students. This is more of a lower primary school. So for your children later, for your students, it should be more on sharing the knowledge. And then you can do as well, you can talk about things that you have read or viewed that were amusing. Maybe you read a book together with them. And then you discuss with them. Seronok tak jadi? Okay, what was the story about? Do you like the character? Maybe dalam cerita tu ada princess, so you ask them, do you like the princess? Do you like the prince? Alright. And then this one is also not suitable for your students. Discussing favorite authors. They have no idea what it means by authors, producers and directors. Right, this is something that you can do, of course, with your students. Discussing new and unusual words. Maybe there are words or phrases that are quite new that they don't know. You can discuss with them. You can give examples on how to use the word, right? And then of course playing games. I think most of you will agree to this. If you want to develop literacy, one of the things that you can do is you can play games with the students. Alright. Playing games is also useful when it comes to developing literacy, when it comes to getting them to be interested, to develop their own literacy. Okay. Alright. So here we have different approaches to teaching English. So this is the language experience approach. This is an important thing that I need everyone to understand. Okay, so LEA is an approach to language learning. Dia cara mengajar lah kan. So cara mengajar bahasa ni. So it focuses, right? The keyword here, it focuses on personal experience in language reading and writing. So again, the keyword is on experience, right? So what does this mean? Okay, what does this mean? How can experience help in language learning? Well, we are talking about the children's experience. Kita bukan cakap pasal experience kita. Okay, we are talking about the children's own experience. Okay, experience pelajar tu sendiri kita gunakan untuk mengajar bahasa. Okay, so again, we are using the experience of the children to teach the language. Okay, so that is LEA. So in an LEA classroom, the children will share their experience to the teacher, and the teacher will use it in the language activities. Right, so I hope that is clear. Okay, so characteristics of LEA. So most of the time, of course, sebab kita bergantung kepada experience pelajar tu sendiri. So LEA ni sendiri, it depends on the learner. Okay, it depends on the learner. However, there are some characteristics that remain consistent. First one is materials are learner generated. What this means is the material that we use untuk mengajar tu is generated by the student. Bukan kita yang generate material tu, student yang generate material tu, because it is their experience, it's not your experience. So all the communication skills are integrated. So maknanya all the 4 language skills dia diterapkan tau. You don't have to teach it explicitly. You don't have to say, okay, ni past tense, ni present tense. All the language skills ni kita belajar, all the students ni dia belajar from listening, from doing, from reading. Okay? And then the difficulty of vocabulary and grammar, they are determined by the learners. Alright. So if let's say you are teaching little children, so most probably vocabulary and grammar will be at the very basic level. Katalah you nanti beruntung ke, maybe you dapat mengajar yang primary school ke, or maybe tadika ke, then the level will be higher than taska. Okay. And then a good thing about LEA ni is that learning and teaching are personalized, communicative and creative. So in other words, it will not be boring lah, because the materials are generated by the learner kan. Materials are generated by the learner, so it is personalized. Personalized ni dia rasa connected with the material. And then because they have to share their experience, they are more communicative. Dia kena cakap lah kan, to share their experience. And then they are more creative as well. Now there are 2 variations of LEA. The first one, there are 2 variations to language experience approach. The first one is the personal experience. So basically what we do here is it is a simple transcription of personal experience. Transcription ni maknanya macam catatan lah, catatan personal experience pelajar tu sendiri. So here the teacher will write and the child can see what is being written. So the child, the student, will share their experience. And then cikgu tulis so that the student can see what is being written. Okay, so what you can do is the teacher can start with the conversation. Okay, maybe teacher tanya, oh minggu lepas buat apa, semalam buat apa. Tak pun teacher can ask, oh have you seen a cat? Do you know cats? Right. You can also start with pictures. You give them a picture. Or maybe you give them a topic or event that is interesting. Macam contoh, a topic or event that is interesting to children, maybe going to the beach, right? So that it will be interesting to the child, right? So from there, the child will share their own story, and then the teacher ni kerja dia, you ask questions je, you give cues, you ask them questions that are related, and then you write the story. Whatever it is that the child is sharing, you write, and there is no correction to the language because the focus is on content. The focus is more towards the content. So unless there is like a major error, there is no need for correction to the language. Error is corrected later during revision, and of course teachers should be supportive in this situation. Right, so this is the personal experience. Another way that you can do LEA, language experience approach ni, is through the group experience. So a story from group experience can be developed by doing an activity together. So macam before this, kita ambil personal experience, now it's group experience. So maybe you have your taska is big, or maybe you are lucky enough you only teach around 5 to 6 people, so you can do the group experience. It's the same as well. You prompt them with something. You can use pictures or movies, to get the children to speak. Maybe a topic like Upin and Ipin, right? So that will get the student to speak. And then you organize an activity and write the steps involved on the board, right? Examples of activities are preparing food, making cards, or even field trip. Let's say you want to go above and beyond, right? So katalah, because this is a group experience kan, this is a group experience, so you want them to share the same experience. So what you can do is you can organize field trips. Okay, you bawa dia pergi zoo ke, you bawa dia pergi taman rama-rama ke, right? Or maybe you ask them to prepare food together, or maybe even make cards together, kad hari ibu ke, kad hari bapa ke. You ask them to do all these things together, and then the experience that they have together, you can use to teach them. So discuss the experience from the activities with the children, and then you write the keywords to help the children describe the experience, and then it's the same as well. It's the same really with personal experience here. So but the difference is that this is a group experience. So you ask them questions, do you like it, what do you do next, what happens next, kan? So semua ni you tulis, right? Semua ni you tulis, and then the whole class decides on the story of what happened during the activity. Alright, so it's the same as well, no correction. And once the story is complete, read it aloud. Yeah. Okay. So let me give you an example to make this clearer. Let's say your taska went to the zoo. So there was a trip to the zoo. So you brought all the students there, and then they saw all these different animals, kan? They saw all these different animals, and then hari seterusnya tu, you ask them to share what did they saw at the zoo. What did they see at the zoo? Alright. So nanti adalah yang cakap, oh nampak harimau, and then nampak they saw an elephant, and then they saw a giraffe. The giraffe was very tall. Right. So they shared all of these students, because they are little children, they like to talk about their experience. So you are using that experience to teach them. Okay, so the text that is created from LEA can be adapted and used in language exercise. So after you have written everything on the whiteboard, you can ask the student to copy the story, or maybe you can use pictures, right? So you katalah you dah organize trip dekat zoo, and then you tulis cerita pasal zoo tu, you bagi dekat dia gambar, and then you ask them to paste the picture there. Right, this one is if you teach numbers. Alright, so these are all the things that you can do. Right, so this is LEA. So LEA ni again, language experience approach, is an approach to language learning. Kita gunakan, we are using the students' own experience to teach them the language. Okay. Right, so I hope that is clear. So that is all for this video. Thank you very much.